Hey everyone, it's your coach Jordan Briones, and in this video, we are going to be breaking down a 4-0 gold medal match in Florida. If you are looking to improve your game, we are going to look at some strategies, talk about footwork and positioning, and hopefully this will help you out a ton. Also, before we get started, if you actually want your own game analyzed personally by me, go ahead and check out the link in the description below or scan the QR code. Let's get right into it. Okay, so actually, as I was going through this footage, I find, kind of just random footage online so that I can kind of analyze the players so I don't know them. This is Joyson. Shout out to Joyson. He actually came to one of my intensives, so kind of came across this video. It's pretty cool. I don't know who these other gentlemen are, but let's get started here. Again, this is a 4-0 gold medal match. Good return there. Okay, so good dinking to start here. All right. So I love that. There's a little flick in the middle there. Let's just slow it down and let's kind of see what happened. This is just a little bit of a lifted dink. And again, this player drops his paddle head. Anytime somebody's dropping their paddle head like this, that is a good indicator of an attack coming. So if you kind of watch where this gentleman is here, he is cross court from the ball. So he's responsible for middle. So if you are him and you're cross court from the ball and you see your opponent cross court dropping their paddle head down, this is a good opportunity to make sure you close middle, which he does, right? He's there, good ball there, and look at him close with the forehand. A little bit unlucky on a net cord for the other team, but let's keep it moving. Joyce in the serve here. Okay, good drive there. Okay, they finally get to the line. Good dink in here. All right. A lot of good control here by both teams, keeping the ball low. And we're seeing some attacking here. And again, really good deception there. One of the things that I really like about Joyson's partner here, I don't know his name, but he's really solid and consistent with his dinks. And then just a little poke like that could cause your opponent to pop up the ball here. Both teams are also doing a good job of leaning in. That was a great reset there. Leaning in, trying to take the ball out of the air. And if you watch this last dink here, I call this the inside dink here. Especially when you're a little bit off of your back foot, you can kind of see Joyson kind of leaning back a little bit. This is not where you want to go cross court. This is a good time to go to that inside foot of the player cross court from you, especially if they're a right-hander. So look at where this ball bounces. It forces them to drop their head down and their paddle down to that backhand, and that is what sets up this kind of attack opportunity for Joyson's partner. He just pokes it a little bit, kind of pokes it to the left side here, and then gets that pop up. So great ball there. Great teamwork. That inside dink is a dink that a lot of players undervalue and underuse. If you are dinking cross court opens up the court, but that inside dink is so important to put pressure on your opponents so they don't get through transition there. Let's actually back up on this point and let's see if they could have done anything a little bit differently. That was a good serve. We got a little bit of a short return and then they don't make it to the net. So at the 4-0 level, one of the things that you can continue to improve is your transition game. And by that, it's not only your decision making, but the shots that you are hitting and deciding to hit. So we see this short return here. I like the drive here. Why do I like the drive? Because he's stepping in, it's a short ball, and he can try to apply pressure with the drive. So I like the drive there, and he hits a good spot, right? He hits that chicken wing, and it kind of floats up a ball for Joyson here. Now, If you're going to attack from transition, okay, Joyson is still kind of in that transition area. He is close to the line, but if you're going to do that, you got to make sure you get it low. You can see he volleys it right to the guy's chest in front of him. And because his partner was a little bit back, it kind of caused them to be in a little bit of trouble. So a couple key things here to clarify. When you have that short return, go ahead and attack it, drive it to a good spot. We had it here to the chicken wing. So I really like that. And then Joyson here decided to speed up. Again, he could have reset the ball and got in, but I see why he chose to speed up because he was, closer to that non-volley zone. But again, if you're going to attack, you don't want to go high to the chest. So a better place to attack would probably be like over here. Making his opponent down the line stretch for the ball, or maybe just attacking right at that chicken wing. But unfortunately, he goes right at the paddle here at the chest, and then they can't recover from that. Okay, so let's keep moving on here. Okay, good drop there. Easy drop in. Okay, so little wide dink. Again, Joyson's partner, I don't know his name, but he looks like a solid player with very consistent dinks. This is another thing that you will not see in 5.0 plus levels if you're trying to get there, or if you want to know the difference between 4.0 and 5.0. You will almost never see what we just saw there, which is a dink missed out wide. Really high level players give a lot of margin on their shots, and especially when they're hitting cross court. You will have to search for hours and hours of film to see PPA pros missing dinks wide. So one thing that we can learn from them is to always have margin on your shots, especially when you're going cross court. Now look at this. Again, this player here, you can see him just kind of resetting and not counter-attacking. Sometimes this could work. Again, I think this guy is right here is trying to put a lot of pressure on these balls. Like this is a little bit of a lifted ball. He kind of flicks it at this guy here in the light blue and probably expecting him to counterattack, but he kind of just resets 2 in a row. And I think that little off pace might have actually, helped them win those points there. Okay, I like that adjustment there. Now they're on defense here. This is a good transition if they make it out. Oh, I love that Tui. Wow, great point there. So let's go back here, and I want to talk about a couple of things that I really liked here. Here's Joyson, and he has a short return, but he chooses not to drive it because it's super low, right? So he goes for the drop here, which I think is a good choice, but he notices it's high. Oh shoot, it's high. What do we do? If you have time, you take a step back and look how quickly he gets back behind the baseline to defend. So if you are seeing a ball that's going to be hit hard after you hit your third, or your partners hit their third, try to get back behind the baseline if possible, and just look at the shot that he chooses. He doesn't, go for a crazy shot on that next ball. What he does is he just gets it over. This is a high percentage play. They're on defense already, kind of hits a lob, and now they're both in it to win it. And they take their time getting in and actually end up setting up the point. So now let's look at this next transition. Again, after they play defense, his partner finally gets one, kind of more neutralizing it. And then again, he hits this one, and now they both come in. And if we watch this in slow-mo, what I really like about this is Joyson's split step here. So that ball is bouncing. Look at Joyson, he split steps. I mean, this is a picture perfect split step here. And then he kind of just loads up on his Tui and attacks the chicken wing. And they get up that they win that point. So great transition. We just saw there a good read when you are on defense, backing up when you can, and being patient through transition when you need to. Good reset there. Okay, now we got the slow game. Good counters there. Okay. Little unlucky on the net cord there. Now let's keep going. Let's see them on the return side. Okay, good resets by the opposing team on the far side. Here we go. We got some dink patterns and really good lean in there. One of the things that Joyson does really well is he leans in and takes the ball out of the air. So let's just see this here. Again, taking the ball out of the air. And even though this ball is a little low, what Joyson does really well is he's controlling the ball and getting it to bounce. So he knows that flicking the ball from this position probably isn't the highest percentage, but he's still a threat because he's taking time away, right? So you can see on this next one that he gets high on this one here, the next ball that he gets, the next opportunity, he will actually flick it and attack it. He's in the same position that he was previously, right? But he just kind of pokes it at him, kind of surprises him. So another thing that we could learn from that is always being ready for our opponents to flick or poke or attack the ball no matter what, especially when they are in a low position there. So little missed third there. Let's keep it moving. Okay, good drop there. Okay, so let's see this. Here's the drop. I like how Joyson did come in. Let's see the split step here. Okay, so pretty good split here. And kind of got jammed here. That is the one kind of, I would say, disadvantage of the two-hander as you're coming in. Right, if you don't have enough space for this two-hander, you can get jammed up here. So this is why I like to primarily counter with one hand. Again, with the two hands, you have to create enough space here, or you can get jammed up to the body. So Joyson gets a little bit jammed there. Okay, a little bit of a drop error there. Good return by Joyson. Good transition by the far team there. Good balls there. Okay, good hands battle. And again, it's just a matter of who can get the ball down first. You can see this guy here, he's actually really good at resetting in the soft game. But when it gets the hands battles and when he knows he's ahead, he will attack. And what I mean by ahead, when he knows he can hit it down. So really smart player. That was a great reset there. Great defense by both teams. And just a little error to the net. Okay. We'll watch a couple more points here. Hopefully you're learning a thing or two. What a return there. Good reset there. Okay, look at Joyson taking time away, leaning in. Okay. And then again, anytime your opponent is leaning like this, we gotta make sure that we're ready for that counter, especially when they have their paddle tip down. Again, that's one of the big indicators when it comes to is somebody going to speed up or not. Okay. So this player down the line kind of gets surprised again. And in tournament play, in competitive play just like this, you are going to see players use pace as much as they can because they want to see if you can handle it. If they have an easy path to getting easy points by speeding up, they're going to continue to do it. That's why working on your counters is so important. Okay, we've all been in this position. What a good shot by that far team here. And here's a ball that's really high. We have it, and then we just tend to overhit it. If you've been in that position, comment below. But there is a sense of when we do get a popped up ball like that, there is a sense of, trying to put maximum pressure, but with consistency. So good drop by Joyce in there. Okay. That's a good forehand roll here. And if you look at this, especially if you're the left side player, one tip that I have, it's definitely harder to play the left because you have to cover the middle and your line. But here's a little bit of a popped up ball. And again, the indication here on a speed up is that paddle tip down in a low position. So I know this gentleman in front of me will be attacking. The important thing here is I have to be ready to cover my dominant side. So I know you can't see it, but this player right here has a ready position that's pretty heavy on the backhand. And so when it does go to the forehand side, he cannot get there because he's just in that backhand position and has to let it go. So no matter what, he would have gotten chicken winged in that position. But again, one of the things that you can do there is sit more neutral, which we teach in a lot of our videos, so that you can open up to that forehand if you need to in those situations. Okay, good drive there by the far team. Okay, Joyson doing a good job taking time away, and wow, they bailed themselves out of that one. Okay, Joyson goes for the Ernie. Okay, both teams doing a good job of just being patient, waiting for the right ball. And that was the ball there. This guy had a really good opportunity here to flick it. And again, a paddle face was probably just a little bit too close on that flick. Okay, so let's watch a couple more points here. Again, if you're enjoying this type of content, go ahead and give this video a like. And if you would like your own video analyzed and broken down by me personally, go ahead and scan the QR code on the side here or click on the link in the description below. Great transition here by Joyson and his partner here. You can see all four teams moving pretty well with their footwork. And this is a good cross court kind of slice dink there by Joyson. Okay, good ball there. Again, they do a good job getting to the line. This gentleman just popping up the ball a little bit ever so slightly. And this is just a good ball down the line there. All right, let's watch a few more points here. Okay, first drive actually, I think that I've seen from him. Again, just going for a little bit too much. Another thing to keep in mind that you often notice with the pro level players, they drive the ball and they drive it with high consistency. So they're not trying to drive the ball at 100%. You know, they want to drive it at 60 to 80% so that they can get a fifth shot drop. So if you are driving your thirds just like that one, you should be driving with the mindset to drop. What a play here. Great drive here and great recovery. Look at this. Joyson in a tough position. I don't think they actually did anything wrong here. I think this was just an incredible play here. Joyson ends up, putting it or trying to put it away, and this was just a good block there. So incredible shot by that far team. All right, here we go. All right, little missed return here. Again, if you're struggling with your returns and your serves or anything like that, we have a lot of free resources below in the description as well. We definitely would love to help you with that. But again, comment below of some of the things that you struggle with maybe, or if one of the things that I said in this video has helped you, tell us what it is. Tell us what you like to see. That was a really good ball. So we got Joyson with a little bit of a lifted dink here. And then we have gentleman attacking. And again, look at him flip to his dominant side. So that was a great attack there. Okay, last 2 points here. Let's see what we can see so that you guys can learn. Great drop there and great transition. Again, really soft hands by this guy in the light blue. Everyone's doing a really good job of leaning in, trying to take the balls out of the air, take time away. It's so important to do that and creating space when you can. So really good ball. Again, one of the things that I really like about this guy here is how patient he is at the line. And then when he finally does get a ball that is up, then he attacks it and he knows that is his responsibility to attack it. So again, I'm not going to go through the whole video here, but hopefully you learned a few things, picked up a few things. Again, we are going to be doing and releasing these breakdowns once a week. I really appreciate you all watching. Please subscribe to this channel if you like this content, and we'll see you in the next one.